target audience while maximizing the advertising impact of your business. That email again, sales at ptlradioshow.com. That's sales at ptlradioshow.com. Did you know that 99% of air conditioning issues start with airflow issues? Well, guess what? Pioneer Air has your back. They've been operating for 20 years in the industry within the Las Vegas area, large enough to handle all your air conditioning and heating needs, but small enough to know your first name. Pioneer Air focuses on preventative care, much like wellness checks for humans. They believe in wellness checks for air conditioning and heating systems to extend the life of the system you own. So what are you waiting for? Schedule your wellness check with Pioneer Air today. The number to call is 702-831-4840. Here's the best news. Mention this ad and you'll receive 10% off. Call Pioneer Air today. 702-831-4840. That number again, 702-831-4840. All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a very rainy Thursday in the Valley, brother. I don't like it when it rains. Not a big fan of the rain. I'll tell you what I am a big fan of. That's air conditioning. I like to sleep cold. I like it like 65 degrees. I cannot fall asleep when I am hot. And there have been a few times in my life, like when the air conditioning went down and I had to stay at a hotel. And I'm like, oh man, I should have checked my air conditioning system, and I waited too long. I do the same thing with my car. I procrastinate. Well, guess what? The guy in studio we have with us right now, he is the CEO of Pioneer Air, and he is going to give us some tips on what you should do, what you should be doing, maintenance, and all these types of things that we need to do to save money and to be comfortable in our households. His name is Leo Murrieta, and he joins us in studio. Leo, I hope I didn't badger your last name. I'm not the best at that. But Leo, I appreciate you being here. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you. What a beautiful day we got outside.
Yeah, I know. Rainy as hell. Like in the summertime, I welcome this stuff. But it's interesting, right? Because these are the cold months, but it's starting to warm up a little bit. Is it fair to say like the busiest months for you are in the hottest months of the year?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, like 100 and what, 10, 15 degrees outside. And what do you get? Like air conditioners, how do they just break down? What happens?
Wear and tear. Remember the stress. Our summers are harsh, and think of it as running a marathon, right? Mm-hmm. It's literally our air conditioners run 3 marathons, right, almost a day, because they turn on and off so frequently because of the weather.
Let's talk a little bit about your company before you give some tips to people on how they can maintain their heating and cooling systems. Pioneer Air has been around for how long in the Valley?
Well, the brand's been in the city since 1931.
1931?
It's been around forever, right? And in 2018.
That's older than Joe Biden and Donald Trump almost combined. All right, go ahead. That's old. Go ahead.
It's been around for a while,
yeah.
Right? And we have a staple, absolutely. But the air conditioning brand, right, which is Pioneer Air, was established in 2018. My little brother Leo and my name is Leo, right? We're Pioneer Air. We are a full service mechanical, residential, and light mechanical air conditioning company. We are.
Wow, that's a really long time. And you've been working for the company since you were how old?
Jesus, we've been doing this for I don't know, myself 18 years, and little brother, he's been doing it for 20.
Wow, so you guys have been doing it for decades and decades. That's super cool. What is the biggest mistake that somebody makes with their heating and cooling systems? What is the biggest error that somebody makes?
I think you started it, procrastination. I think the biggest thing is, remember, air conditioners and heating is the only time you don't know it's not working, or you do know that it's working, is when it's not working, right? So perfect example, maintaining your air conditioner is probably, and your heating system is probably as important as anything else that you do. Filter changes, those are the different things. Procrastination is the number one reason why a $100 repair or a $10 repair turns into a $1,000 repair or thousands.
You hear it all the time, people complaining about their electric bill. But I also find that I have friends of mine that they'll leave their air conditioning on like 67 degrees when they're gone all day. What are some ways that you would advise people to save money on their electrical bill?
Do not adjust the thermostat more than 5 degrees. So think of it this way, right? My mother, and I'll use her analogy. When she goes to her Rotary Club, she would turn off the air conditioner. Well, in the summer, the indoor temperature rose to 90 degrees. Well, then would come home, she would drop the temperature down to 70 degrees, where she likes to keep it. Well, furniture, drapery, everything in the house absorbs heat. So therefore, it would take longer to cool the house back down. And if she just left it if she wants it at 75, raise it to 80. If she wants it at 70, raise it to 75. So recommendations are: do not turn the air conditioner off, and do not raise the temperature more than 5 degrees.
Interesting. Okay, I've done that. I'll be honest with you. If it's on like 72 and I'm really hot, I'll put it down to 65, and so I'm making a big mistake by doing that, and it costs you more money to
Correct.
do so. Interesting. Wow, I never knew that, Leo. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to use that tip. And obviously we're in the months now where it's warming up a little bit, but is it fair to say if it's good sleeping weather and it's like 65 degrees outside, why even use it at all, right? Give it a break, right?
Absolutely. But remember, so my household, I turn my heater, right? October, right? We don't like to sleep above 72, 73. That's how we keep it. My mother's house, she keeps it at 65. So I would say this is literally it's your house. If you like sleeping at 60, put it at 60. But if you like to sleep me at 72, 73, my friend, I'm going to turn the heater on and sleep at 72, 73. So I guess what I would say is enjoy it and be you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes complete sense. What is the normal price that most of these companies would put in for installation? Because I know you have a special offer for our listeners.
We do.
What is that usually? How long does that take for an installation, and what is the normal charge for something like that?
Well, I can tell you this: the price is a standard, right? So you have companies that have higher overhead than others, right? We're a family-owned business, and we have different overhead than some of the other companies do. I can tell you this: that price it's kind of like a car. I mean, what kind of car do you want? And you can start from a low end to a high end. But I can tell you this, that the biggest thing that I would recommend doing prior to requesting a price would be to get to know the contractor you're dealing with, right? Relationship is so important. Think of it this way: when it's 115 degrees outside and your air conditioner goes out, right? If you're elderly like my parents, they have insulin, they have different needs, right? That they can't be without air conditioner. So if you call somebody who has different moral characters than other people do, right? Someone who's been here forever, someone that goes to church here. My father's a Pentecostal minister, right? They're going to give you a different price because it is now you need it. So what I always recommend is, like you said, procrastination, how you started, it goes back to getting to know the contractor that's going to be servicing you, right? Because it's not if they're going to, it's when they're going to service you. Does that make sense?
That makes complete sense. If you're just joining us, he is Leo Mirenta. He is the CEO of Pioneer Air, and we've had these certificates that we've been giving away, and I'm going to be giving one away again here at the end of the show for 2 free scheduled maintenances in a year. You also get dedicated hotline, repair discounts, extended warranty, and more. So here's an interesting question for you, because you alluded to this a little bit about people that have medication, they need refrigeration and that sort of thing. First time in my 20-year radio career this ever happened to me, where I'm in the middle of doing an interview like I'm doing with you, and we had a power outage. And there's a power outage within a 3 to 4 block radius. It was wild. It was crazy. That seems to happen a lot more in the hot summer months, right? Can you explain that, and what advice would you give to somebody in a situation like that?
Well, a power surge. Welcome to our new reality. And what I mean by that is, whether you believe it or not, climate change, right? Our summers are hotter than they've ever been. Because of that, what happens is, the strain on the grid, of the electrical grid, it's going to continue to happen, right? So power surge happens because of many, many different things. What I would say, recommendation for an air conditioner, what happens is call your provider right away. Because remember, a power surge is a blast of voltage coming into a TV, a component, or air conditioners have mechanical components such as computer boards, such as relays, such as all the electrical components that go with it. And if they get blasted with that kind of voltage, it could damage them. So what do we do? By calling your contractor, by calling the mechanical contractor that services you, what we can do is we can prevent it by different component surge protectors to prevent that from happening and exploding. And second would be to, make sure that you're taken care of and you're back online as soon as possible.
Gotcha. Yeah, because that happens a lot in the summertime.
Correct.
So I see sometimes where it's not like a big power outage, for 2-3 blocks. sometimes you just might have a power outage or surge or whatever you'd like to call it in your own home, and it's because too many things are on. You've got the air conditioner on, you've got every light on, you've got the TVs on. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that seems to happen a lot when too many things are being used at one time. It seems like the power will go out.
Yeah, absolutely. So think of it this way, right? So we're back to electrical. So in the electrical grid or the electrical, so think of wires within the house, right? Power transfers between wires between one place and another. If there's too much demand, right, what happens is you overload that grid, your house grid. And what happens is there's breakers within the house that are designed to protect you from damaging. However, sometimes those breakers, because of the age, don't prevent it from happening, or they trip. So why does it happen? Well, again, now I can tell you in my house, I'm blessed to have 3 little girls, and every single one of them has a phone. Every single one of them has an iPad, and they all stream and do all kinds of different things. So because of that, sometimes the grid within our house gets stressed, and then it creates that demand and it shuts it out.
What would you say, like, to somebody living in a studio apartment or a one bedroom, and they have one of those really old mid 1980s air conditioning units, right? I mean, they're strong, but they're a pain in the butt to take out and maintain. What do you make of those? And would you just tell people just to throw those away?
No, not at all. Listen, you know what? My dad, 1952 Packard, it's an incredible car.
Yeah.
It lasts, and his thing is it's got air conditioner, right? So it's got
Yeah.
air conditioning. But I can tell you this, that if my 2020 truck, right, my Silverado that I drive, right, if that Packard hit my truck, it will destroy my truck. Why? Because they were made differently, okay? However, his car, right, your system from the 1980s, uses more power, meaning his gets 6 miles to the gallon,
Right.
where I'm getting 20, right? So I wouldn't say that the newer systems are better. I would say they're more efficient. So what would I say to someone who owns one of them? It's like, look, what's your power consumption, right? Are you overpaying? Because with the savings that you're using, the savings that you would have by replacing that air conditioner from the 80s, right, and putting a brand new ductless mini split that instead of putting it on the wall, you can put it instead of putting it on the window, you can put it on the wall. You can literally save hundreds and thousands of dollars over the life of that system, and you can afford to do many more things by just doing that one thing.
So, we've been giving away these VIP memberships to Pioneer Air. And in these VIP memberships, I've been talking a little bit about what you're offering the customers, but I want to hear it from your mouth, because who calls into the show today, we're going to be giving away one of these VIP memberships at 702-221-7283. Again, that number, if you'd like a VIP membership, 702-221-7283. So, Leo, I want you to tell the listeners what you're getting in giving out these VIP memberships, which are very valuable, and I think they're valued at around $149, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So one of the things to simplify it, is attention to detail and history, right? So the reason why we created the VIP membership is my father, he is, he's in his 80s now, and has different needs, right? Meaning, right, he has to go to Dr. Cortez, who knows him for the last 25 years. So there's a history and understanding that my father, even though he tells him, do not eat coffee, do not drink coffee, and do not have your sweet bread in the morning, my dad continues to do it, right? So because of that, right, that history and understanding of my father's dietary needs, Dr. Cortez can conversate and guide my father as to what to do. Same thing with our VIPs. Our VIPs are designed to create history. Understanding that not just a snapshot when we come in and look at the system, but understanding how cold you like to keep your house, how warm you like to keep it. So number one is history and understanding that we get to know you, you get to know us. Number two is you have us in your home twice a year, meaning I'm going to see what happens in the winter, and I'm going to see what happens in the summer. So therefore, I can guide, diagnose, make recommendations on what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and what we're concerned with, so you can prepare for. Because the last thing we want you to do is go down July 4th between 3 and 6 when I'm in the pool and we're the busiest. And then lastly, you hit it. We have what's called a concierge line. Very seldom do companies do just a regular line. Well, we have a regular line. But our concierge line is designed only for our VIPs. It is not marketed. It's not advertised. Only for our customers that are VIPs. So when they call, it still rings to the office. But if it rings more than 4 or 5 times, it goes to my operations manager. It goes to my general manager. It goes to myself. It goes to my wife. And it goes to my brother. Why? Because that's a VIP customer calling us saying, hey,
Right.
Either I want to say hello to Leo, I want to say hello to somebody, or something is wrong. Please take care of me. So I guess
I like that.
and that's what we do. But it's how we remember 1931. That's how we used to be. This is what Vegas was, right? Now, yes, I have a phone that tells me the world, but
It's comfort, right?
Correct.
You're reminding me a little bit of like maybe you're personal friends with your doctor, and your doctor gives you their personal cell phone. Boy, is that comfort knowing you don't have to go through 3 or 4 different people to try to get a prescription, or there's some sort of emergency. You could call that doctor directly. So in a way, it's kind of like that, where you have a personal relationship with your VIP customers, and I love that because, boy, I freak out if I have a lot of medication. I'm a diabetic. If I have a lot of medication in the refrigerator, or if I need air conditioning immediately for whatever reason, I have one of my parents in my house, and we're need to spend the night, and for whatever the case may be, there's certain emergencies that are going to happen. I want to know that somebody's going to pick up the phone.
absolutely.
And I think that is so important in any business. Like Leo, I'll call up a casino and I'll ask to speak to somebody. It could be a host or anybody, and I have to go through like 5 or 6 different people. It's unbelievable. And like, it as a customer, it makes you feel like your business isn't really wanted or appreciated, I guess is the right word to say. So I'm really glad that you do that. Again, if you're just joining us, Leo Marenta, he is the CEO of Pioneer Air, and we're giving out these gift certificates as we've done on the show. Wow, I didn't even know his business was been around since the 1930s. That's incredible. So right now we're heading into spring, right? We're almost there, right? It's amazing. Today's February 1st. It seems like, Leo, before you know it, it's going to get 80 degrees. Then it's going to get to 90 degrees. And then all of a sudden I'm going to get third-degree burns on my seatbelt in my car. I know what it feels like, and I'm sure you do as well, when your air conditioning goes down. It could be in your car, or it could be in your home, wherever the case may be. But this is a question I've been wanting to ask you. As you know, there's a lot of apartments and condos, and they have their own maintenance crews.
Yes.
I can tell you, I have had horrible hell stories with some of these free maintenance groups, and it makes me want to call somebody like you. What would you say to somebody who lives in an apartment complex anywhere in the valley, and they have just a terrible maintenance, 24/7 maintenance? I mean, you want them to call somebody like you that can fix the problem, right, at an affordable rate.
Yes. So I guess one of the things I would say, caution, and reason why I say that is because, remember, a maintenance or an apartment project, right, has their own. If you're the homeowner, it's completely different. Give us a call and we'll be right there with you. So if you have a property manager, right, that runs the apartment, it's a little more complicated.
So if it's one of those situations where the local maintenance people say, no, it's our problem, it's not their problem, what would you say to them?
Yes, I agree. How do I answer that without getting anybody in trouble, right? Or liable for? I would say this. It's like, look, there's rules and there's laws and there's codes that they have to maintain and do, right? Above a certain days, without air conditioner, when it becomes a life safety, or even with heating, it becomes a life safety. I would say follow that. However, I will tell you this, right? Remember, the standard to the person, or the standard, how do I say that? The education level and the experience, right, is directly correlated to the person. So if you have someone who is a great person but doesn't have the expertise or the experience or the education to back it up, you're going to get a different result. Can I say it that way?
Sure.
There's
More professional.
Thank you.
They don't have the incentive, right?
I'm trying to.
Well, I'll say it for you.
Thank you.
They don't have a normal, this is just my opinion, and I'm not saying every maintenance worker at every apartment complex isn't doing their job. That's not what I'm saying. However, some are not. They don't have, they don't want to get off their ass and some of these people, because I've experienced this, and fix the problem, because they don't have any incentive. They're not going to be getting more money. Where if you have a customer for the first time, you want their business, you're going to want to do a good job, because you're going to want them to call back, right? Is that am I making sense here?
That's
right?
absolutely
Yeah.
true.
So I asked that question because there's a lot of people living in apartments who, they want this, they want to win this, but at the same time they're like, oh, but I have my personal maintenance 24/7 in the complex. So what do I tell them? I would tell them what you would tell them. Hey, if you want a professional job and you want, you want someone to get the job done and get it right, so you don't have to call these maintenance people, which, by the way, they're not always available, and then, we'll help you in 3 weeks, right? I mean, that doesn't work in the summertime. Then call somebody like you, right?
Yeah, our summers are hot, and remember, it's life safety. It is
Yes.
not. It's essential, right? COVID taught us that. We're now essential. I would say it's That one's a little tougher then because, right, of that property management.
Sure.
However, if you take the property management out of it, right, and you call a licensed mechanical contractor like we are, we only grow one customer at a time.
Yep.
Right, and
Sure.
we want to know your feedback. Did we do well? Did we meet your expectations? Did we wow you? Would you recommend? Because that's how we grow, right? There's a reason why we are who we are and we're different than anybody else. Is the fact that we treat you like a person, Brian. It's you when you call the house, when you call the office, and you come to the office, you're gonna see my kids there. You're gonna see my wife. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're different because we made it that way, and that's what Pioneer
Family
is.
owned, and I feel that way about great food in this town. You go to these big companies, it doesn't always go the way you want it to, but these family owned companies, they just, whether it's restaurants or whether it's Pioneer Air, you do it the right way. Okay, we're running out of time here. I want you to give out the information. How do people contact you? How do people get involved here? Even if they just want a scheduled maintenance, just to, some preventative maintenance, for so to speak, how do they contact you? Where are you located? Who do they talk to? Who do they call?
Absolutely. They can call our office, 702-831-4840. Right, for the month of February, we're running a special where our typical $99 inspection wellness check is actually $25 for your customers only. Right, so that we wanted to make sure we extend the courtesy. You can go on www.pioneerairlv.com. You can schedule there, but mostly you can give us a call. Right, ask for Leo, ask for Miss TC, Miss Tierney. She's actually an incredible young lady at my office who helps me and keeps me on track. But give us a call. We love to help. I think procrastination is why those problems become problems. It's because we don't take care of a simple $10 repair that I can address and take care of. Will prevent that kind of procrastination and issue happening in the future.
And in the heat of the summertime, how many employees do you have out there working?
Last summer we had 29.
Wow, 29 on 29 people.
We're blessed.
Wow.
We're one of the smaller outfits. We're blessed to have every single one of them.
That's cool.
So and every single one of them is important. Why? Because without them, we're not us.
Well, I love the fact that you're family owned, and you guys have been doing this for decades and decades, way before I was born. And there's a reason why you guys are still in business, because obviously you guys are doing it the right way and you're taking care of people. So we did have a caller who called in, and she's going to be picking up her VIP package, so to speak.
All right.
This is what it looks like. This is what you're going to get. And I want to tell people this, and I know you're going to agree with me on this. A lot of people that are picking up these, which are $149 value, and I appreciate you giving me these to give away, is they say, well, I'll give them a call when things go wrong. Don't do that. Give them a call now. You're going to get free scheduled maintenance, completely free of charge. Do it now. Leo, I appreciate you being here and supporting what we do, and we're going to support and continue to support what you do. I appreciate what you do out there, and you're going to be very busy in the next coming months. I know that. But I appreciate you being here, Leo. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. That's a wrap, everybody. I appreciate Leo coming in studio, Pioneer Air. We're going to take a 22-hour break. I need it. And stay dry out there, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a great day, everybody.